we often take ourselves too seriously. And if you're somebody who finds that they lack the expression and characteristics to make a story really interesting, here's one way that you can get over that hump and start to believe that it's fine to just get it wrong. The most effective voice artists I've ever met are not afraid to fail. They fail fast. They get over their humps and they move on. Look, I'm going to show you today one method that you can use in order to help get over that hump of self-doubt when it comes to reading. Now, I'm specifically going to pick a children's book today because I read this to my kids quite regularly. We've got a ton of books, but this one is just one they quite like at the moment. And as I was reading it to them yesterday, I realised this is perfect. And because I've spoken with people before who have trouble expressing voices and doing all the stuff for their kids, but you don't really need to go too far. You don't have to be perfect. And this is the point about failing fast, right? This term I'm hearing a lot recently, is that you've got to make mistakes, right? It's part of the fun, actually, when you trip up and make a mistake, and then you kind of don't hide it. You know, sometimes when I get a voice wrong or change the voice because I haven't remembered what I was doing, the kids start laughing. That's not what it sounds like, and that's part of the game. So, look, you don't have to have kids, but if you're a voiceover artist, reading children's stories, they're so simple and expressive, and they've often got many characters in them, that it's really good practice for you as a voiceover artist to get round. And a lot of them rhyme, like this one rhymes, and they're colourful and they're simple. So look, if you want to practice, if you want to get better, take this and go as far as you can with it. Just be silly. Like, I'm going to read some of this to you now, and I'm not going to hold back. I mean, like, I've told you that I've been reading it already. This is not new to me, but here we go. Danny and Dino were up very late. They wanted some treats, and they just couldn't wait. "I'm hungry," moaned Danny. "I want sweets and cake. We can't go downstairs, my parents might wake." But Danny thought of a new plan instead. "Maybe there's yummy stuff under the bed." So Danny and Dino climbed into the gloom and crept through the darkness beneath Danny's room. They crawled through the tunnel, all covered in grime, and soon reached a world full of monsters and slime. Danny said, "Come on, let's search for a snack." A deep voice behind them boomed, "I'll help with that." A big hairy monster was blocking their path. They both yelped in fear. Then he started to laugh. "I'm baking a cake, and it's sure to be nice. If you help me make it, I'll give you a slice." The monster seemed friendly, so Danny agreed. "I'm Bob," said the monster. "Now here's what I need. I'm missing ingredients 1, 2, and 3. "We'll help," Danny cheered. "We'll help." Was that Danny's voice? I don't know if it was. "We'll help," Danny cheered. "How hard can it be?" Right. So look, there's other monsters in there, and you can do what you want with them, and I wasn't really pre-preparing that. That's kind of the voices that I do with my kids. But look, pick up a book, a children's book. Read, don't prejudge it, see where it takes you. And what happens is you'll get through it and you'll start to make your own assumptions about what a monster sounds like, what a boy sounds like, what all the other characters sounds like. But if you prejudge it, if you plan it out too much, you're going to be trying to hit that perfect placement, that perfect characteristic, and that search for perfection is often tainted by ambition as opposed to curiosity. Staying open to it and just seeing where the flow goes. Practice sight reading will help you become better at expressing words off the page anyway. So pick up a children's book, read it aloud, have some fun with it. If you've got kids, great. If you don't have kids, borrow some. If you can't borrow some, just pretend like you're reading it for a job. Right? You've been asked to come and read a children's story for money, and you need to express it in a way that's going to be entertaining and valuable, and don't take yourself too seriously. I go over a lot of this work in my complete voiceover starter kit, which has everything about getting into the voiceover world, including how to prepare yourself, how to make demos, how to contact agencies and libraries, the different sorts of voiceover and how you can fit into them, including how to buy the right equipment and what equipment you need and how to set up a home booth. It's really comprehensive. It goes through so much. And if you really are serious about getting into the voiceover world, then this is a really good stepping stone into understanding the industry and your place in it, as well as how to get paid from it. It's a valuable course. Check it out. Description box below.